Hi, good morning, everybody. I hope you are doing well today. I'm Rita Hickman. I'm a body-mind expert and a Shiatsu massage therapist, and my specialty is helping women get their body, mind, and spirit into alignment so that they can stand up to the toxic people or walk away or transform the toxic people and narcissistic relationships that they have in their life. And I do it through the body, which is super cool. So, hey, Jeannie, nice to see you. So, the research that's been coming out lately, hey Kelly, which is pretty cool, is the connection between gut inflammation and brain inflammation. Now, for many, many decades, ever since, psychotherapy started to come out, hey Lisa, the idea was that people had mood swings or that they had mental health problems or emotional problems, hey Terry, because somehow they were psychologically broken, because somehow, there was something wrong with them, that they had a personality disorder. And I was investigating personality disorders earlier this morning because I was reading an email from Christine Northrup. Hey Amanda. And she was talking about how, 1 in 5 people have narcissistic qualities and personality disorders. And I started being like, personality disorder, let's look at this a little bit deeper. And so personality disorders are basically when you've got personality qualities or traits which mean that you don't get along well in your world, in society. And so in reality, I probably had a personality disorder most of my life. But because I wasn't labeled that way, I was able to really look at what was causing me to behave the way that I was, to be so sensitive, to be so overreactive, to have so many mood swings and feel so emotional. And it really helped me dive down into the physical causes of my own emotionality and my own mental and emotional health. And the latest research, as I said, that's been coming out is making the connection, hey Kellyanne, is making the connection between gut health and brain health. In fact, they even came up with a thing about breastfeeding. I've been, obsessing about breastfeeding this morning because they found that in the formulas that they would give children, it missed some really critical nutrients which were good for the brain, which they never realized were good for the brain until, of course, time went past and we all ended up being fed on formula and having these really screwed up guts and wondering why we were moody, emotional messes that had a hard time dealing with the world. Maybe that's just me, but I think there's a lot of us involved with this. So, okay. So one of the qualities of being in a relationship with a toxic person or having a narcissist in your life is the fact that they are so unpredictable. We end up walking on eggshells and looking around us and looking over our shoulder and completely freaking out with people because narcissism is based on how the narcissist feels. How they treat you is completely based on whether they're in a good mood, they're in a bad mood, whether, their digestive health is off, whether their blood pressure is up or down, whether their sugar level is up or down. It's based on how they feel, okay? And which means that in the relationship to us, they're really unpredictable. And what that can do for us, especially if we're more hypersensitive, if we have some digestive issues, which mean that we have mood and emotional and some brain inflammation, is that we end up being in a state of shock, in a state of fight or flight all the time, constantly wondering when we're going to be attacked next. And it's very hard for women, especially, to find that grounding, to find that level place. We look at other people in our lives and we say, how come you're able to handle the narcissist so well? How come you're able to handle these toxic people and they don't bother you? That's because these people probably have a little bit healthier system. Maybe they were breastfed, I don't know. But they have a healthier system and a healthier digestive system that they're able to stay physically, mentally, and emotionally more grounded. Hey, Carrie, more grounded as they go through their day. So, what are the foods that help you heal your gut so that you can stay more grounded, so that you can walk into your job or walk into your relationship or even walk into your house and be level and not be hijacked by your own sensitivity to the energies around you, by your own challenges with mood swings, your own challenges with feeling off or uncomfortable or oversensitive. What can you do about that? So here is what works. 1, kombucha and probiotics, okay? I've been talking about that for months, and that's great. So we're going to put that to the side. If you have more questions about kombucha and probiotics, let me know. But what they've been coming out with is asparagus. Asparagus is great for helping with the digestive health. So even if you've, do a juicing with my friend Julie, who does, cold pressed juices. So asparagus helps with your digestion. Unripe bananas. Unripe bananas, they've got this fiber in it, which isn't easy to digest. So the cool thing is that they get all the way to your large intestine. And this fiber in these sugars and this fiber in the unripe banana feed the bacteria in your large intestine. So, when I went to Colombia, one of the things that they fed us a lot were unripe bananas. And I always wondered, why would somebody do that? Why wouldn't you do, the sweeter ones, the more, the ones that were more yellow? And they would do it because of the insoluble sugar and fiber that were in it. And so what that would do is it would allow your gut to heal itself. It would allow that bacteria to get the food that it needed. Hey, Chanel and Carrie, nice to see you. So unripe bananas are on the list. Now, if you're planning on having an interaction with someone who's toxic or narcissistic, there are some foods and things that you can do to help prepare you. Hey, Tracy, so you're doing the gut health, you're getting the inflammation down in your gut, you're doing the juices and the asparagus and the bananas and the kombucha and the probiotics and all that other good stuff. And it means that your brain is less inflamed, so you're going to be less sensitive and less moody. You can also, let's say you're going to see them in an hour. You can also do some things which will give you a natural lift. Now, if you do not have a problem with dairy, and some people do and some people don't, they have a hard time digesting certain proteins in the dairy. If you don't have a hard time with dairy, a little bit of dairy is actually a really good idea, because what it does is when it hits your gut, it tells your body to release beta endorphins. It's one of the reasons why we love ice cream and we're addicted to dairy, is because it boosts the beta endorphins and physically makes us feel good. So it gives us that lift. The same that chocolate might do. So a little bit of dairy, if you don't have a highly sensitive system to it, is an excellent choice. One of the other things that I'll do is I will take very calming herbs. I'll take those sleepy time teas and I will put it and add it to my water bottle. Because if I know I'm going to be dealing with someone who is a little bit off, who's, more toxic, more melodramatic, things like that, then I will make sure that I drink calming teas all day. And they don't have to be hot. I'll just take a sleepy time tea bag, I'll throw it in my water, and I'll use that tea bag as I refill my water bottle 2 or 3 times during the day. Because what it does is that those calming herbs will help keep your mind calm. They'll help keep the inflammation down. They will help keep the inflammation down in my gut and in my brain, which means that I am going to feel more stable. Now, if you need an absolute quick fix, then I would say you eat something that has hemp in it. They've got hemp seeds, which are awesome. They've got hemp oil. They've got CBD, food with CBD in it. So they've got, brownies and cookies and, all sorts of great stuff that have CBD in it. Now, what this does for you is the CBD activates your endocannabinoid system. And then what your endocannabinoid system does is it goes and it reduces the inflammation wherever you've got inflammation problems. It tells the body, we want you to reduce the inflammation in this area. And so when you take, let's say, CBD oil and you stick it under your tongue for, 30 seconds, in about 10-15 minutes, you're going to probably get a sense of calm. Now, the first time people start to take CBD, what happens is that they can have a little bit of a healing crisis. It can be a little bit too much for their body too quick. The body, a system that hasn't been used very much and is kind of sluggish, is suddenly primed into action and it starts to go to work, and then we end up a little overloaded. So when you first start taking CBD, you might want to do it in smaller amounts. But after the first few times and your body's used to it, it is a great quick fix. You want to eat something that's got the CBD in it because it will give you that sense of calm. Hey, Dina, because it will reduce the inflammation in your system. And if it reduces the inflammation and it's able to go across the blood-brain barrier, and if it's able to reduce the inflammation in your brain, hey, Kristen, and it's able to reduce the inflammation in your gut, you are not going to be so sensitive. You are going to be able to stand up and things won't bother you as much. And you'll be able to look at the toxic person and narcissist without feeling reactionary to their energy, but instead be able to look past their behavior and be able to say stop or walk away, or allow them to go through whatever healing process they're going through so that they can get what they need. But you will be able to stay stable and balanced, okay? So in the long term, big picture, we want to heal your gut. And, I forgot to throw in aloe vera juice. Aloe vera juice is great for that. So you want to start healing your gut. And you do that through, high fiber, low fat, get rid of the processed stuff. You also heal it through asparagus and, mangoes. I forgot to throw in mangoes. Mangoes are great for digestion too. So you'll throw in asparagus and mangoes, and you'll throw in some kombucha, and you'll throw in some sauerkraut and kimchi, things which are more fermented. And you're going to get your gut healed, okay? If you're going to be seeing them soon, let's say in an hour or two, hey, Martin, then you want to do things which will give you that little bit of a lift. So you'll want to do the foods that release beta endorphins. And those would be, as I said, a little bit of dairy, a little bit of chocolate, things that make you feel good, even a little bit of sugar if you need to, because sugar is great for numbing. In fact, they used to use it in needles for infants because it numbs the area. So if you need a little bit of numbing, since you're already eating sugar in your life already, you might as well use it, judiciously and surgically so that it helps you when you're going to have an interaction. And if you're going to be seeing them, let's say in 15, 20 minutes, or they're walking in your door, do your little bit of, your CBD brownie or your hemp oil under the tongue or whatever you need to do so that your endocannabinoid system can activate and give you just that little bit of a bubble, that little bit of as if you're wrapped in a little bit of bubble wrap, so that when the person comes in, it doesn't knock you off your butt, and you're able to interact with them. Hey, Laura, and you're able to interact with them in a healthier, more balanced way so that they go away, so that they're not so toxic, so that they're not difficult. Or maybe if they're being toxic over here, you're able to make good choices for yourself. And if you're planning on spending time with them during the day, as I said, get your water bottle out, stop putting, the chamomile and the sleepy time teas in them, because that little bit of microdosing, throughout the day with your water will help keep you more in that level place. Now, the cool thing that happens around all of this is when you're able to get your gut healthy, you're able to get the inflammation down in your body, and you start engaging differently with the toxic person or the narcissistic person, what happens is you start teaching them how you expect to be treated. And then the relationships start to change. The dance and the dynamics start to change. So maybe when they come into your office and you can feel the energy is off, you leave. Or maybe when they're coming after, you say, stop, you've hit a boundary, and now I need to go. You start developing better relationship skills. You start developing better confidence and self-esteem, and you start being a force of nature, because you are in a really great space. And when you do that, when you start to feel differently and you start to change how you engage differently, then the people around you start to change, because we become most like the 5 people we spend the most time with. And if you have a narcissist in your life and suddenly you're handling it in a very healthy, mature, relationship, balanced sort of way, then they have no choice either to leave and find somebody else, or to start to change their behaviors as well. And so you can take a toxic relationship or a toxic situation, and by healing yourself and focusing on that gut and getting you into a good space, you can heal the relationship and maybe even turn it into something that's pretty great, and maybe help the people that you love, you know, the toxic people that you can't get rid of, your mom, your dad, your sister, your brother, you know, your spouse, and you're not willing to get divorced, all of those things. You might be able to help raise them to a higher level too, because if they can start feeling good as well, you know, if you can start encouraging them to do the things that make them feel good, then they will feel less inclined in order to manage their stress. Because when we feel good, we tend to be nice to people. When we feel bad, it's very hard to be nice to people. And so the key is, how do we get ourselves feeling and operating at the highest level so that we can have these great relationships and we can start helping the people that we love live the life that they're meant to live. Okay? So cool. So like, love, share, comment on other people's comments. We're going to be starting the narcissistic series, interview series, next week on Monday with my friend Tara. She's going to be on Monday, and Patty's going to be on Wednesday. And Monday, we're going to be talking about how to stop or avoid narcissistic relationships, how to spot them, you know, so you can avoid them from the get-go. We're going to be doing that on Monday. And on Wednesday, we're going to be talking about the best ways to protect yourself from a narcissist. With Patty, who's a self-defense expert and my hemp oil supplier. And then the week after, we'll be doing another one on Monday and Wednesday. And then the week after, we'll be doing 2 last ones on Monday and Wednesday. So I'm not quite sure what those topics are going to be yet, but it's all going to end with a great round table with all of us so that you can really hear the dynamics and bringing all of our geniuses together. Hey, Patricia, bringing all of our insight and wisdom and understanding, and it's going to be a really great series, okay? So keep your eyes out for Monday, 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. It'll be here on the Rita Hickman Facebook personal channel. About an hour and a half, 90 minutes worth of gold. And I hope to see you there. Until then, I'll see you tomorrow, okay?